Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And good Monday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray. I'm in for Gary as he continues to recuperate from surgery. So Gary, get better over the next couple weeks. We'll have the control for you here.
Yeah, we'll hold on the fort, at least for the short term. And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage, and today is looking to be not too bad. Cloudy start with some sunshine as we head in the afternoon. Temperatures in the 50s. Overall, a pretty nice start to April, but it's temporary. As we head in the middle of this week, it's looking a little bit more on the...
dicey?
A little dicey. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. But first, though, look at those conditions as you head out the door this morning. 31 in Rome, 32 Hamilton, 36 out in Syracuse, 23 up in Saranac Lake. Right around the freezing point for a lot of central New York with some lingering clouds, which will erode as the morning and afternoon continues on. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We are cutting it close with rain showers for today. There is a notable rain system passing through Pennsylvania. The northern edge of this is producing maybe some light sprinkles as far as north of Route 20. But for today, expect generally quiet conditions with mostly cloudy skies giving way to partly cloudy skies this afternoon with a pretty mild April-like temperatures in the mid-50s. Following this, heading into tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, we're talking about rain switching over to snow and 30-degree highs as we head to the end of the week for Thursday and Friday. We'll talk all about that in detail straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, the Red Cross is...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, welcome back. Happy first day of April, everyone. It's time now to show our commute cast, the monthly commute cast for your drive to and from work today. Starting out, look at those road conditions as you head from I-90, Little Falls and Verona to Utica and back. Drive time between 17 and 22 minutes both ways. Arterial 790 to 840. Right around a 5 to 6 minute drive time. No accidents, of course, to report along both of those roads. Same thing for 5S and Route 49. Drive time of 16 minutes both ways from Utica to Mohawk. And secondly, Utica to Rome, under 10 to 11 minute drive time. And then finally, if you are taking a drive from Cooperstown to I-90, heading up north along Route 28, drive time right around 32 minutes. 36 minutes both ways. And then finally, if you're heading north or south from Utica to Remsen, the drive time along Route 12, right around a 15-minute time. So again, heading to work today, we're talking about cloudy skies, dry weather, temperatures in the 30s, warming up into the 40s. Then this afternoon, highs in the 50s with sunshine peeking out. Overall, completely dry day. This will change as we head into the middle of the work week. We'll talk about that in detail straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Millions of Americans took part.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Happy April 1st, April Fool's Day. Well, there's no fooling what the weather's going to be like for today. We're talking about warmer temperatures in the 50s and clouds giving way to more sunshine. But I think that the April Fools this week will be the return to more winter-like weather as we head into Thursday and Friday. But for now, a live look at downtown Utica, cloudy skies, dry weather, pretty mild compared to a week ago. Not looking to see any snow accumulated on the ground right here all throughout the downtown Utica area. Those temperatures starting out this morning in the 30s and 20s. 26 Otter Lake, 35 Westernville, 30 in Little Falls, 30 degrees in Dolgeville to the south. Temperatures in the 20s, 29 Cooperstown, 32 Oneonta, and 30 degrees in Norwich, 29 Sherburne. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, a live radar. All is quiet here locally, and our attention turns to a system passing just south of us. Maybe some light sprinkles in the areas south of Route 20, but for the most part, areas north of I-90 will remain entirely dry for the day today. And again, aside from light sprinkle, this is the main thing we're talking about today is mainly dry weather. But this will change as we approach the next few days. So here's that system that generally passes south of our area. Then here comes more rain, arriving a little bit on the lighter side Tuesday, then at least more notable as we head into Wednesday. So we've got low pressure out to the west. This is going to produce some rain showers, surge in that warm air from the south. In meteorology, sometimes things happen where systems transfer energy. This will be the case here. This low weakens and strengthens south as a coastal low, otherwise known as a nor'easter. This will surge north, drag in cooler air, and that rain will switch over to snow showers as we head into Thursday and Friday. But you can see here more locally on our Skycast, clouds this morning give way to some peaks of sunshine, temperatures as high as the mid-50s. Then more clouds arrive tonight, a dry start for your Tuesday. You can see here a chance of some light rain south of Route 20 throughout the remainder of the afternoon and evening. Then heading into Tuesday night and Wednesday, here comes some rain showers, and then a wintry mix will start to form in areas that are still below freezing, and then you can see that switch over to entirely snow showers as we head into Wednesday night and early Thursday. But for the next 12 hours, we're talking about pretty mild conditions for April standards, mid-50s for highs, decreasing clouds. Tonight, mostly cloudy, lows falling back down into the 30s. Your 7-day forecast. Not looking very April-like, Steve. We're talking about 30s on Wednesday, lingering into Friday with more rain and snow showers. So even though we are 50s today, it's not going to continue for the next few days, and it's looking again a little bit like
winter, as we get further into spring. Well, you knew it was, you knew that the nice weather, those wonderful temperatures we got in February were going to come back.
We get like 3 or 4 Fool's Springs. I think this might be April Fool's spring for us.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, time now is 5:21. Still ahead.
The news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us, everybody. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Let's start this half hour with a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Pretty good day, good start to the week, but then it thoroughly goes downhill.
yeah. We're talking today after a cloudy start, chilly start too. We're up into the 50s this afternoon and feeling a lot more like what we usually experience in April.
Yeah.
And then as we head in the middle of the week, we're talking about a return to some snow showers by Thursday and Friday, so it's short-lived. But the main focus, at least this week, is will it be sunny for the eclipse next week?
A week from today,
yeah. And with the weather this week, if we can get all the clouds and all the rain out of the way now, we'll hopefully see some more sunshine by Sunday and Monday of next week. But those current conditions, as you head out the door this morning, it's, again, a little bit on the cool side. 31 in Rome, 32 Hamilton, 31 up in Watertown, 41 all the way out in Rochester this morning. With clouds generally south and some clearing as you head a little bit to the north. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We are mostly dry over the New York State region except for areas south, seeing a light passing shower as rain showers will continue to surge through Pennsylvania and miss New York State almost entirely. And you can see here over the next 12 or so hours, we warm up into the mid-50s for highs today, with sunshine peaking out by the afternoon. Overall, a pretty pleasant start to April. But enjoy the dry weather today, because as we head into tomorrow, light rain chances mainly south of Route 20, and then a better chance for widespread rain on Wednesday, turning over to a wintry mix and snow by Thursday and Friday. We're going to talk about the timing and potential impacts with this straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks a lot for that story. Well, Storm Tracker 2 forecast, by the way, never more than 10 minutes away. Well, new this morning, the race.
Welcome back. Happy April 1st, everyone. As we turn our attention to the week ahead, we're talking about more spring-like weather today, followed by more winter-like weather as we approach the middle end of the work week. But before we get to that, let's showcase our weather photo of the day today. And this one is a long-awaited chickadee sent in Eagle Bay. We were mentioning we got bird submissions from all different kinds of birds, and we finally got that all too elusive chickadee to be on our weather photo of the day. So thank you to whoever submitted this from Eagle Bay. We'll showcase a few more birds before we get back to at least some nice sunset pictures, nice winter pictures we missed. You guys have been submitting it fantastic pictures on our website, wktv.com/weather/pics. If you don't find that link there, you can also go to our website. The link is at the top of the screen. Look at those temperatures as we head to the next few days. Today, highs in the 50s, but following that, a bit of a dip into the 30s for highs for Wednesday through Friday before we warm back up into the 40s by Saturday and eventually on Sunday, and hopefully that sun to stick around for Sunday and Monday of next week. But we're going to talk about the potential wintry weather later on this week in that full forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, two fun spring events didn't...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. It is still a bit cloudy out there this morning. Temperatures in the 30s, but as we approach the afternoon, we warm up into the 50s with decreasing clouds. Alive like in Utica right now, same story. Dry conditions, a lot less snow on the ground compared to a week ago. This past, well, at least the past Monday, but you can see here, dry, pretty mild expected for today, but again, temperatures starting out in the 30s, 32 Westmoreland, 30 in Dodgeville, 29 Lake Pleasant, 27 degrees in Inlet. To the south, 30 in Hamilton, 30 in Sherburne, at 29 Cooperstown, and 32 degrees in Oneonta. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're tracking some upper level moisture passing just south of mainly Route 20 in locations that are below freezing. There could be a few flying flurries in the air, otherwise some light drizzle south, but for the most of the central New York region, north of Route 20, we're looking at entirely dry conditions for today as widespread rain surges through Pennsylvania and misses most of New York State. Because here, the bigger picture, here's that surge of moisture. But following this, we actually dry out by tonight and into early tomorrow. Then here comes a strong area of low pressure. This will arrive late Tuesday, bringing the chance for maybe some light rains again south of Route 20. But notice here, we got strong low out to the west, and this will transfer energy to a coastal low to the south. And what this will do is this will switch over that rain to a colder mixture of a wintry mix, and then eventually over to snow showers as that low strengthens as a nor'easter off of the northeast coast. But you can see in our skycast today, it's quiet, it's dry, temperatures climbing as high as the mid-50s in the Mohawk Valley with some peaks of sunshine in the late afternoon. Following that, clouds increase for early Tuesday morning. Temperatures right around 32 degrees again. We're back into the 40s by Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. Notice here, though, some rain showers generally staying south of Route 20. Then Tuesday night, more rain begins to surge north, and then by Wednesday, start of Wednesday, we're talking about widespread rain before it switches over to a wintry mix, and then eventually over to snow showers by Wednesday night and early Thursday. This could cause tricky travel for some locations by early Thursday morning. But over the next 12 hours, we're talking about pretty quiet weather. No issues for travel today with highs in the mid-50s. Tonight, we're back down into the 30s with mostly cloudy skies. Your 7-day forecast looking a bit more like, I would say, early March or late February with these rain showers, wintry mix, snow by Friday. But we rebound into the 50s by this coming weekend and more sunshine, which hopefully should stick around for the eclipse.
On Monday. All right, so got to get through some bumps and hurdles this week with some more snow, but
yeah,
but it won't stay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to hear. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, severe weather threats for some 70...
With Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us, everybody. I am Steve McMurray, in for Gary this week.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
We got a lot to get to this morning, but we want to get a check of the Storm Tracker 2 forecast as we begin a new month, a new week, and starts out okay, then, well, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about 30s to start out today. Dry weather for the most part. We're up into the 50s this afternoon. Clouds give way to sunshine. Overall, a pretty nice start to April. But following that this week, things turn a little bit more on the wintry side. Rain switches over to snow Thursday and Friday. might be a little bit on the messy side for a morning commute later on in the week. But for now, let's talk about today's weather. It's 30s. It's a quiet start to the day with mostly cloudy skies across a lot of the region. Temperatures in the 30s as well. 36 Syracuse, 32 Hamilton, 31 degrees in Rome. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're tracking low pressure, bringing some rain showers south of New York State at this point. The northernmost extent of these rain showers is pushing as far north as Route 20, but as far as I can tell, it looks like not a lot of this is even reaching the ground, looking at latest service observations as far north as Lawrence and Springfield. And over the next 12 or so hours, temperatures are climbing from the 30s up into the 50s today, with some sunshine peeking out this afternoon and this evening. A pretty pleasant Monday. Well, as we head into the next few days, things turn again a little bit more on the wintry side. Rain arrives tomorrow and Wednesday, then over to a wintry mix and eventually snow showers by the second half of the work week. We're going to talk all about that in detail straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. The Red Cross.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, welcome back. It's time now for the Munson CommuteCast as we take a look at road conditions heading to and from work for today on this April 1st. First off, a look at those drive times along I-90 and the arterial. 18 to 20 minute drive time both east and west from Verona to Utica and Little Falls to Utica. Arterial 790 to 840 run a 5-minute drive time. Looking at our second set of roads, 5S east and west, Utica to Mohawk, 16 to 18 minutes. 49 east and west, 11-minute drive time from Utica to Rome. Otsego County, drive time for the Route 28 route between I-90 and Cooperstown, roughly 35 to 37 minutes. And then finally, if you're heading out from Remsen to Utica to the 790 entrance, around a 17 to 15-minute drive time. And to work today, it's looking pretty dry with mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We warm up, though, into the 50s this afternoon with some sunshine peeking out, so keep those sunglasses handy. However, as we head to the next few days, not so much on the sunny side and more so on the rainy and snowy side. We're going to talk about that in that full forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, millions of Americans took part in Easter-related activities.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. A happy April 1st. We are starting out the day within temperatures in the 30s, warming up, though, into the 50s with some peaks of sunshine by this afternoon. Let's take a live look at downtown Utica right now. We are under overcast skies for a lot of central New York, but again, that will change as the morning continues on, and we're talking about more spring-like weather with highs in the 50s. But to start out today, looking like the 30s across the area. Some areas in the 20s, 34 Westernville, 27 Outer Lake, 31 Dodgeville, 30 in Little Falls. And to the south, 30 in Sherburne, it's 30 in Cooperstown, and 32 degrees in Oneonta. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're talking about some light drizzle taking place in some locations south of Route 20. However, surface observations have not confirmed that this is really reaching the ground just yet. But even if it's light, it should be coming to an end within the next few hours, as north of Route 20, things are entirely dry. This is the northernmost extent of widespread rain pushing through Pennsylvania, which will continue southeast to southeast, and we're not looking at anything really besides clouds initially and then more sunshine by the afternoon. So here's that rain picking up on our radar and satellite composite. This will continue to shift south and east, and following that, pretty dry weather for the most part heading into tonight and early Tuesday. But then, as you can see here, low pressure starts to form southwest of our area, then remaining west, surging in some rain showers by Wednesday morning into Wednesday afternoon. But this is where things get a little bit on the tricky side. This low pressure then weakens and transfers its energy to a coastal low or a nor'easter by Wednesday to a Wednesday night and eventually Thursday morning. This will drag in cooler air, and that rain eventually switches over to some snow showers as we head into Thursday itself. So on our Skycast, you can see here, dry today, temperatures as high as the mid-50s with some peaks of sunshine by the afternoon. Tonight, looking at a few passing clouds, mostly cloudy for your start to Tuesday, mainly on the high-level cloud side, but you can see here some light rain possible south of Route 20. The real rain begins to arrive Tuesday night and into Wednesday. This will surge in some rain, starting out as rain, initially turning over to sleet and then freezing rain, and then eventually over to snow by early Thursday morning. This could cause some tricky travel by your Thursday morning commute. We'll have more on this as we head into the next few days. But for today, though, enjoy the dry weather. Temperatures in the 50s with some sunshine by the afternoon. Tonight, clouds increase once more. We're back down into the 30s and your 7-day forecast. 40s for tomorrow, then down into the 30s for Wednesday through Friday as we approach more winter-like weather for the middle of the week. But the good news is it's temporary. We're back into the 40s and 50s by next weekend.
All right, so there still could be some accumulating snow in various parts,
Yes,
but it's not going to stick
Yes,
around.
mainly elevation-based throughout the week.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, we are now 1 week away from 4, and the news begins right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And thank you for joining us this Monday morning. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
A lot to get to, but let's start this half hour with a check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast. And sun coming up, looks like a pretty decent day on tap.
Yeah, decent day. It's a cool start, typical for April standards, and we're back up into the 50s by this afternoon with some peaks of sunshine as well. A pretty nice day.
I like that.
It's temporary, though, as
Yeah,
we
I
head to
know.
the next few days. So let's enjoy the dry weather as we look to this afternoon. But those current conditions out there this morning, bundle up. It's a cool start. Temperatures right around 32 degrees. 31 officially in Rome, 32 in Hamilton, 37 down in Binghamton. And a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Alive radar. We are dry here in the Mohawk Valley. There is some elevated moisture in areas south, but so far, based off of surface observations, it doesn't look like much is reaching the ground. Maybe a stray flurry or some light drizzle. But other than that, south of Route 20 looks to be the only spot where any precipitation could take place for this morning. Following that, though, we give way to some sunshine by this afternoon. Partly sunny skies, highs in the mid-50s. Enjoy the nice weather for today, because as we head into the next few days, things will begin to cool down, and so will the dry weather turn to more wintry-like weather by Thursday and Friday. We're going to time it all out, talk about the impacts and when that rain arrives, when the snow arrives, and that full forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. New this morning,
Welcome back. The time now is 6:43, showcasing our weather photo of the day on this Monday, April 1st. And what a better way to start the work week with a showcase of a bird, which is a chickadee, which is one of those birds we haven't quite seen just yet, submitted on Sunrise. You can see right here, beautiful shot right there, sent in Eagle Bay. We're going to show a few more bird pictures as we wrap up the turn of spring before we head into a return to more typical weather photo of the days. So again, thank you to whoever submitted this. Send it to WKTV.com/weather/pics if you want to submit a photo like this one to us here to be showcased on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Those temperatures as we head over the next few days will be starting out in the 50s today, into the 40s for highs tomorrow, leaning towards the upper 40s for that. But Wednesday through Friday, we're back into the 30s, more winter-like weather with some rain showers switching over to snow. We're going to time it all out, talk about when the rain does switch over in that full forecast straight ahead. Steve?
all right, Eric, thanks. 2 fun spring events didn't
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy April 1st. April Fool's Day, everyone. The thing that will not be fooling will be the temperatures and dry weather today. We're talking about clouds to start, sunshine in the afternoon, and highs in the mid-50s. A live look at downtown Utica, a cloudy start, dry weather. A big difference today compared to a week ago with all that snow still on the side of the roads. You can see here completely clear with clear sidewalks and grass exposed on both sides of Risking Boulevard. Current local temperatures, 34 Westernville, 31 Dolgeville, 30 Little Falls, in the 20s up in the North Country, 28 Long Lake, 28 degrees in Inlet. To the south, 31 in Norwich, 32 over in Afton, 32 in Adilla, and 30 up in Cooperstown. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're seeing the extent of rain and flurries south of Route 20 for the most part. A lot of this isn't really reaching the ground too much. As you can see here, most of that actual rainfall is staying well south of the New York border, remaining in Pennsylvania. And recapping what's been going on, you can see that surge of rain showers continuing to shift south and east away from our local area. And then fast forwarding into the present, at least into the future, that rain does come to an end and again still stays outside of central New York. Heading into tomorrow and then Wednesday and Thursday, that's when things get a little bit more on the unsettled side. Tomorrow, some light rain possible, generally south of Route 20. And then tomorrow night is when a warm front lifts north, bringing with it some widespread rain into early Wednesday. And this is all due to a strong, broad low pressure out west of New York State. Now, this will actually weaken and transfer its energy to a coastal low by Wednesday night and Thursday, and this coastal low will turn into a nor'easter, bringing in cooler temperatures north and a surge of rain, eventually switching over to sleet, freezing rain, wintry mix, and then eventually over to snow, which will be an elevation-based event by Wednesday, Thursday, and eventually Friday. So in our Skycast today, we're talking about quiet weather, clouds, temperatures in the mid-50s for highs today with some sunshine peeking out by the late afternoon. Tomorrow, starting out dry, then you could see here a chance of some light rain generally south of Route 20 before more chances for rain arrive overnight tomorrow night and into early Wednesday. But then you can see that rain switching over slowly to sleet, freezing rain, and eventually over to snow, which could impact the morning commute on Thursday. But for today, though, we're talking about pretty dry weather. Decreasing clouds, temperatures in the 50s. Tonight, down into the 30s with mostly cloudy skies. Your 7-day forecast. 30s for highs Wednesday through Friday. We rebound. This is temporary. We're back into the 50s by Sunday of next week. And fingers crossed that sun still holds into Monday for the eclipse, which would be great news for those that are looking out to view it on Monday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot, Eric. Well, severe weather threats for 70 million Americans. 70 million Americans in California. In fact, parts of the Pacific Coast Highway collapsed. That pounding rain turned to snow in the mountains. NBC's Jesse Kirsch reports.
Oh my God, this is the 101.
In Southern California, nearly 2 inches of rain falling in just 1 hour.
Oh my God, this is so bad.
Twyla Douglas filming this video yesterday alongside her husband Scott on Highway 101 in Santa Barbara County. Severe flooding temporarily shutting down the highway in both directions.
It was surreal. I had never been in water like that, and I was really worried.
Oh God, look at this poor car.
Some drivers left stranded. Officials say 8 people were rescued, and 1 driver was treated for hypothermia. The heavy rains also washing out part of Highway 1, a nearby lodge opening its doors for stranded visitors. Charmaine Schwa was escorted out of the area this afternoon.
It's a total roller coaster because we went from in one moment thinking that we'd have to start rationing our energy bars to being told we could leave.
Dangerous wet roads in Orange County causing this car to spin out and crash into a ditch, according to local reports.
Possibility that you could start to see some flooding here.
Millions under flood alerts across California.
Whoa, that was a bright one.
Take a look at this video appearing to show a plane getting struck by lightning near San Jose. And further north, this is debris from a plane crash overnight that left 2 people dead, according to airport officials. The cause has not been determined, though it was snowing in the area. The NTSB is investigating. More than 2 feet of snow fell this weekend in parts of the Sierra Nevadas. And on Easter Sunday, the storm is racing across the Rockies as the eastern half of the country braces for storms.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
Happy Monday to you. Happy beginning of April to you. And the spring weather continues. Let's get right to that forecast for a pretty decent day today. We hope you like it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
forget the rest of the week. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll just forget about tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today, though, it's pretty nice. It's a quiet start, a cool start. We're up into the 50s this afternoon with some peaks of sunshine, very spring-like, very April-like. Well, actually with April-like, usually April showers, I guess. So I guess not quite April-like, but you get the point. It's going to be nice out today. A live look at current conditions. It's in the 30s heading out this morning. 33 in Rome, 32 degrees in Hamilton, 36 out in Syracuse, 26 degrees up in Saranac Lake. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Elevated moisture is continuing to exit the southern valleys, primarily south of Route 20. And over the next 12 or so hours, we remaining entirely dry, with temperatures climbing as high as the mid-50s, with some breaks of sunshine under partly sunny skies for the day today. Enjoy the nice dry weather for this afternoon and this evening, because following this, weather turns a little bit more active and remains active until Friday. So again, we're talking about rain, eventually rain-snow mix, and then snow showers by the second half of the week. We're going to talk about all that in detail straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. The Red Cross is assisting 12.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. Now, with the forecast this week, you probably think it's an April Fool's joke, but so far it's looking like a return to winter briefly by the second half of the week. But for today, though, let's enjoy the pretty pleasant weather. A live look at downtown Utica right now. Cloudy skies start out your day. Sunshine will peek out throughout the remainder of the mid to late afternoon under partly sunny skies. Those current local temperatures in the 20s Outer Lake, 36 degrees in Westernville, 31 Dolgeville, 30 in Little Falls. To the south, 31 Cooperstown, 32 Oneonta, and 32 degrees over in Norwich and in Chenango County. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Some noise getting picked up on the radar right here, and you can see some light flurries taking place out to the east, but here locally, things are looking almost entirely dry. A low pressure system to the south is producing widespread rain south of Williamsport in Pennsylvania and remaining pretty much entirely south for the entire day today. So recap what happened over the past 6 hours. Here came that rain, and you can see it in the near future continuing out eastward in the Atlantic Ocean. Now following that, we've got a dry end of the day today, a dry start tomorrow. Tomorrow evening is when we have a better chance for some light rain and drizzle south of Route 20 before more widespread rain arrives tomorrow night and into Wednesday. And this is all due to a warm front surging in some rain from the south as a strong low pressure west of us develops. Now, with this system, this low pressure will weaken and transfer energy as low pressure south and east will strengthen off of the Atlantic waters. This will bring in cooler temperatures and eventually a pretty typical nor'easter, one we haven't really seen too much this winter, which will develop as we head into Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. And this will bring rain eventually turning over to wintry mix and then snow showers by Thursday morning. But for today, though, we're talking about some sunshine peeking out this afternoon, high temperatures in the mid-50s. Tonight, a few passing clouds, lows falling into the low 30s. Then by tomorrow, some spotty light rain will develop maybe south of Route 20, but remaining mostly dry for other locations. North temperatures in the 40s. And then here comes that widespread rain. But notice as it begins to drag in that cool air from the north, that rain will switch over to a wintry mix and eventually over to snow showers by the overnight hours Thursday. This could cause some tricky travel, especially in higher elevations by Thursday morning. But of course, we'll continue to follow this as we get more data as the days get closer. Today, though, 50s, The afternoon with some sunshine. Tonight, mostly cloudy, lows falling into the 30s, and your 7-day forecast looking more like a return to early March, late February, Wednesday through Friday, with rain switching over to rain and snow showers. We do dry out, though, by Saturday, with more sunshine developing by Sunday. Hopefully that sun does linger into the day of the eclipse on April 8th.
With Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Let's get right to that forecast. And beautiful day yesterday for most of the day. Sun came out, warmed up a little bit. When you saw that the calendar, that Easter was going to be on March 31st, I think everybody thought, well, that's going to be a snowy one. Not so much. But those of you that, for whatever reason, wanted to see the snowflakes back, they're on their way.
Yeah, on the way, but at least not until the end of the week. If you're wanting to enjoy dry weather and temperatures in the 50s, well, today is your day. A look at those current conditions out there right now. First off, across the Mesnet camera network, we're seeing generally overcast skies, some light sprinkles in some locations south, well south of Route 20. But for the most part, we will continue to dry out as those temperatures approach near 50 in the Mohawk Valley, already 50 degrees out in Syracuse, near 50 in Rochester. And on the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar, we are cutting it very close to rain showers today, with rain primarily staying in just south of the New York-Pennsylvania border. But you can see here, after overcast skies, we've got some clearing heading into our local area following the next hour or so. So we'll be seeing some sunshine before sunset, and again, temperatures climbing into the mid-50s. Enjoy this dry and warmer weather today, because following this tomorrow, a little bit more unsettled, but still mostly dry. Then by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, well, not so much. We're going to talk about the rain transitioning to sleet and eventually snow in that full forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Brand new this.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Hope everyone had a blessed Easter weekend. I know my weekend was pretty nice, and the weather, at least on Sunday afternoon, was looking pretty fantastic. Now look at the current conditions way up in the sky from the GOES satellite. We're looking at cloud cover, but notice if you can see the outline of the central New York counties right here and where those clouds are. This was this morning. This will be this afternoon. This will sweep more and more east, and we'll see a little bit more sunshine as the afternoon continues on. A look at those current conditions. First in Oneonta, clouds, potentially some light sprinkles taking place as we're picking it up on the radar in just a few minutes, but it has warmed up a few degrees, right around 32 for a lot of the Mohawk Valley. Now we're up into the 40s, 45 Dollarville, 46 Otter Lake, 47 in Westmoreland. To the south, a little cooler where the clouds have stuck around the thickest, 43 in Oneonta, 40 Cooperstown, and 41 degrees in Norwich. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We are still tracking some light rain pushing generally south of Route 20, but following that, more dry weather continues to move in as rain showers primarily stick south and push more and more southeast. The bigger picture, we are tracking that rain continuing eastward, as you mentioned, but following that, a brief dry period heading into this evening, tonight, and early tomorrow. But that will change as we approach tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, as a few light rain showers begin to develop again south of Route 20 as that warm front slowly surges north by early Wednesday morning. Initially as rain, but you can see here we've got broad, strong low pressure out to the west. Now, in typical meteorology, things like this don't always go completely textbook, and that will be the case. We've got low pressure strengthening off the coast, a nor'easter, and this will transfer energy from the west to the east. And notice how this low kind of fades away and this one down here strengthens. And look at all that producing some sleet and eventually some snow. This will be primarily affecting Wednesday night and Thursday. So this could produce some tricky travel situations during that time. Before then, not really so much, but it will be a long-duration system producing active weather between roughly early Wednesday morning, lingering until about Friday. You can see here, pretty quiet weather today, pleasant weather for at least early April standards. Then by tomorrow, increasing clouds, some rain initially developing a little bit south, and then surging north overnight into Wednesday morning, mixing in with some sleet as that cooler air begins to advance into central New York and eventually over to all snow, with temperatures falling into the 30s by Thursday morning. And again, this could be impacting the travel for Thursday morning's commute. But for today, we're talking about temperatures in the 50s with decreasing clouds, and your 7-day forecast. Enjoy the 50s today. We're down into the 40s tomorrow. 30s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as rain gradually transitions over to sleet and eventual snow. Lingering light snow showers Friday. Again, the worst of this will possibly be Wednesday night and into early Thursday morning. But beyond that, Saturday, we're drying out, and then more sunshine does arrive by Sunday, just in time for the eclipse. So fingers crossed that holds into April 8th on Monday.
All right, we'll have to see how that plays out, but yeah, sort of messy this week. So get out there and enjoy it today.
Yes, enjoy the weather today.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, homelessness is a heart-wrenching. And good afternoon once again. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And welcome to the second half hour of News Channel 2 at noon. And it's a week from today at this point, folks will be really getting psyched about the eclipse because it'll be mere hours away. But you got more for us on that.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of I'm not sure what it is, at least with social media, with frustration, with just uncertainty as to why is this important. Because we had one in 2017, and it's only been a few years. This should be happening pretty much every year, right? Well, let's take a look at the next eclipses that will take place. In fact, let's zoom in on this graphic right here. We've got the next one, which will be a week from now, 2024 this year. But take a look at the next paths over the next century. This is until 2100. The next one that will even reach New York State will be in 2079, and that'll be basically over the New York City area. The next official one in the United States will be 2045, passing over the Southwest. We will not be seeing anything anywhere close to a total eclipse here in New York State. And then finally, to wrap up the century, 2099, passing just south of Washington, D.C., going across the Chicago area up to Minneapolis and north into North Dakota. So you can see here, not a very common event. It just was an outlier that we did see 2017 having a total solar eclipse. And so far, so good with the forecast. We're looking at maybe some high-level clouds arriving from the southwest. The models have been very consistent with this weather pattern, but we got to wait until this active weather this week passes over central New York, and we get a better idea of what to expect over the weekend. But if it's high-level clouds, that's pretty okay. We'll deal with those as the sun will be pretty well visible behind those. But locally, we are seeing some sunshine starting to peek out. Camden, Redfield, Woodgate, parts of Morrisville, and still Colebrook underneath some clouds, but we're expected to continue to see more and more blue skies as the afternoon progresses. Temperatures climbing into the mid-50s. Following that, we're back down into the 30s tonight under mostly cloudy skies, and then we are tracking yet more active weather heading into the remainder of the work week. We'll talk about that in detail straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. Happening today, trout season opens in.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Welcome back, everyone. Happy April 1st. As we start out the month of April, it's turning out to be a pretty pleasant day. Although it's been cloudy, let's take a look at the Nexus camera because some blue skies are starting to peek out, and that'll be the case for the remainder of the afternoon and early evening as those clouds slowly get whisked away to the southeast and more sunshine moves in from the northwest. So look at those local temperatures this afternoon, already starting out, at least initially this morning, in the 30s, up to near 50 already in Westernville, 49 in Westmoreland, 47 Dollarville, 48 Little Falls, in the upper 40s up in the North Country. Lake Pleasant, though, with 41 degrees. Still a bit cooler in the southern valleys where those clouds remain the thickest. 43 Norwich, 46 Sherburne, and 45 degrees in Oneonta. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Everything's looking pretty quiet and dry. Some light sprinkles and mist could have taken place in areas south of Route 20 early this morning and, in fact, over the past few hours. But that has since passed, and looking at mainly dry weather as we take a look at the bigger picture. Those rain showers continuing to shift more south and east. And that's from that one system still pushing out into the Atlantic. Now, behind that, we've got some dry weather moving in for this evening, tonight, and early tomorrow. But that will be an outlier as we approach most of this work week, starting out with tomorrow night. Initially, some light rain possible south turns to more widespread rain overnight tomorrow night. Then into Wednesday, still looking at scattered rain showers with this low pressure, this strong low pressure out to the west, surging in that warm air. This low will actually weaken and transfer its energy to a coastal low or a nor'easter, which will also strengthen at the same time. That will cause cold air and a lot more moisture to get surged in from the Atlantic, which in any typical case would be a nor'easter, as you can see there. Initially starting out as rain, switching over to sleet, and eventually over to some snow showers. We're thinking that the highest impact of the system will likely be Wednesday night and into very early Thursday morning. But zooming in on our Skycast, you can see here today looking pretty quiet and dry. Clouds giving way to some peaks of sunshine throughout the afternoon and evening. Clouds will linger a little bit more on the heavier side during the evening and overnight tonight in the southern valleys, but just looking at a few passing clouds starting out tomorrow. Rain showers still roughly sticking south of Route 20 for the early afternoon tomorrow into tomorrow evening before that rain surges north overnight into early Wednesday. Then that rain gradually switches over to sleet and then over to snow. And we're talking about mainly elevation-based event with highest elevation seeing a whole lot more snow, roughly over 1,000 to 1,200 feet, while areas below that elevation line will see initially rain, and it might be a little hard for that rain to switch over to sleet and snow. But for today, across central New York, ignoring the weather later on in the week, it's pretty pleasant with decreasing clouds, temperatures in the 50s. In your 7-day forecast, a slow cool down into the mid 30s by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Rain switching over to sleet, then eventual snow showers, lingering snow Friday. Then we do dry out Saturday with more sun arriving in the second half of the weekend, which hopefully that sun does stick around in time for the eclipse on the 8th.
Monday afternoon. All right. So like I said, a couple bumps in the road over the next couple of days and then back to some decent weather. All right. Thanks a lot. Well, severe spring weather has been making its way across the country, bringing heavy rains, flooding, and snow to parts of the U.S. Nearly 40 million Americans are facing some kind of severe weather today. Jesse Kirsch has more on this wicked weather.
This year, April showers came early for millions of Americans, with torrential rains, gusty winds, and large hail battering parts of the country. In the Midwest, where the storm is headed next, hail the size of golf balls hitting cars.
Oh my God, this is so bad.
The system bringing torrential downpours to California before working its way east. In Santa Barbara County, some drivers left stranded after severe flooding shut down this stretch of highway. Twyla Douglas was driving from LA when traffic suddenly came to a complete standstill.
We heard this like raging water sound and we're like, oh, this is not good at all.
Meanwhile, parts of the scenic Highway 1 near Big Sur breaking off into the ocean, stranding hundreds of people and sending 2 to the hospital, according to officials. While in the sky near San Jose, lightning near an airplane. And further north in Truckee, tragedy striking during a storm that brought 14 inches of snow this weekend. According to airport officials, 2 people were killed in a deadly plane crash while attempting to land at the airport. No cause has been determined.
I could hear this just big thud. I knew it went down.
The victims identified as entrepreneurs Liron and Naomi Petrushka. The company where Liron worked saying we are all heartbroken by this loss.
And that was Jesse Kirsch reporting. Coming up, a special encounter.
News with Kristen Copeland.
A nice sunny day, but after this weather turns more active. changes are coming. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is tracking from the Weather Center to start us off.
Yeah, that's right, Kristen. We're tracking a wintry mix that's going to be here Wednesday night. It starts out as rain across central New York. We have some brand new information from the National Weather Service issuing winter storm watches. This primarily looks like a high elevation event in terms of the areas that are expected to see the most snow. And it's going to take longer for that rain to turn over to snow in the lower elevations again for Wednesday night. So the timing of this, at least what could potentially cause some tricky travel Wednesday night and into very early Thursday. Things look quiet out there this evening. We are tracking, again, rain arriving tomorrow afternoon. It will continue to rain through tomorrow night and for most of Wednesday, but then it turns over to snow heading into Wednesday night, and that could really stick to some of the higher elevations. We've got to look at the snowfall forecast on this coming up in just a couple of minutes. So cloudy this evening, temperatures in the 40s to low 50s. We're tracking, again, some unsettled weather in the near term, but we do have an idea of what the weather may look like for the upcoming solar eclipse. We've got to look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
A Utica man is facing multiple...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We are continuing to track a pretty lovely evening in central New York. Our eyes, though, are on what happens later this week. It looks like we're not done with snow accumulation, at least not yet. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Stern Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet. If you're heading out, the weather is looking phenomenal. It's been just a warm day. Temperatures have climbed into the upper 50s. We've seen some sunshine, and wow, it's just a nice one, and I hope you have a chance to enjoy it. Sunset nowadays is close to 7:30. The winds are going to be picking up over the next couple of days as unsettled weather approaches. Breezy conditions tomorrow, downright windy on Wednesday. Winds will become slightly less Thursday before they pick up again as we head into Friday. And this is all due to an area of low pressure that's going to be bringing a rain-snow mix to our area. I wouldn't put away the snow gear yet, although I think most of us won't be snow blowing with this, but you're going to definitely want to keep the shovel out and keep the snow tires on because I think we'll be dealing with this first thing Thursday morning. Current temperatures close to 60 in a lot of places. Little Falls 60 degrees, Dolgeville 58, Westernville 59, across Southern Valleys, Sherburne 55, Oneonta 52, and Cooperstown with 54. The next area of low pressure approaches from the west. This is a pretty complicated weather pattern that moves in. It starts out as rain. As the low tracks to our west, it brings in some warm air. And again, as you can feel with temperatures in the 50s today, we have a long way to go to get cold air back into place. But what's going to happen is it transfers its energy to the coast. Then it starts to wrap in some of that cold air by Wednesday night. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, it looks mostly cloudy. Overnight lows drop down into the low 30s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. Rain will be approaching from the south in the late afternoon to early evening. So it does look wet for your drive home on Tuesday. Temperatures look to climb into the low 40s before the rain arrives. Rain showers in place tomorrow night. Wednesday, more rain showers in the morning, but then as cold air wraps in, we start to see some mixing take place heading into Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. Surface temperatures will be above freezing for most of Wednesday, so I'm not anticipating any big impacts on travel. A lot of this is going to be melting during the day, but then Wednesday night, a changeover takes place from rain to snow, and that's when the snow starts to accumulate in higher terrain. In fact, the first call here, this is for Wednesday night and early Thursday. The Mohawk Valley, 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. The higher terrain, 3 to 6 inches. And in the Adirondacks, especially northern Herkimer County and Hamilton County, we could have 6 inches or more of snow fall again Wednesday night and into early Thursday. Partly cloudy skies tonight, low of 33. Tomorrow, we're looking at rain developing in the afternoon, 47 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather just kind of lingers around. Clouds, on and off rain and snow showers Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But there are some very strong signals that the weather will clear out. And right now, we are making the early call for at least partly to mostly sunny skies for the solar eclipse on Monday afternoon.
Sun until that 2-minute frame where...
Yes, I know. That was why we were so worried about the
out.
eclipse. But, I mean, from what we're seeing so far, it's looking very promising.
Good. Bill, thank you. Today, U.S. officials met virtually with Israeli leaders to talk alternatives. Bill Cardis.
So we're talking about elevation snowfall and how we're expecting accumulations to be a lot different in the higher terrain versus the lower terrain. This is going to be the setup for Wednesday night when widespread rain is expected to turn over to snow. This is a look at the temperature profile with the atmosphere. A profile just means how does the temperature change with height. And Wednesday night, we're expecting the Mohawk Valley to be close to or just above freezing, elevations over 1,200 feet to be close to 32 degrees, and then elevations over 3,000 feet to be below freezing. And that is going to be the setup that could create a very dramatic difference in snowfall totals Wednesday night into Thursday. An elevation-driven event, which is very common this time of the year when we do get snow. Temperatures are going to remain very close to freezing, or at least in the 30s here as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Much colder than average. We're usually close to 50 this time of the year, but we will eventually get there. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's a lovely evening to get out and enjoy. If you want to take the dog out for a walk, it's perfect weather for that. Temperatures look to stay in the 50s here with sunshine giving way to a few clouds. And we've got a group of dogs tonight. Ralphie, Paisley, and Penelope from Frankfurt. If you want to be part of this, head to Skycast WKTV on Facebook. This is brought to you by Nye Automotive Group. We're tracking rain and snow and how much we expect for accumulations later this week, and that's coming out. Kristen, back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. 6 days, 21 hours.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We're tracking the next weather maker, which is expected to bring a rain-snow mix, especially as we head into the middle and end of the week. This is the what to expect timeline, and you can see Tuesday, it's mostly rain. Rain continues Tuesday night as well as Wednesday, but it's when that rain turns over to snow Wednesday night that travel could become tricky. So in the short term, again, the weather does turn unsettled, but we're not concerned about any big traveling issues until at least Wednesday night and very early Thursday. And this is going to be having a higher impact in the higher terrain versus the Mohawk Valley. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. All is quiet across the region. It's been a lovely day. Temperatures have made their way into the upper 50s. The winds will be picking up as this next area of low pressure arrives. It's breezy tomorrow. It's windy Wednesday. And the winds will be sticking around here as we head throughout the week. The winds will not be strong enough to cause any big issues in terms of any damaging wind. But again, it is going to be very noticeable. That's a continuation of that wind that we've been dealing with for a good portion of this month. Whitesboro, 55 degrees. Barneveld, 56. Forestport, 56. Curtis checking in with 54 degrees. We've got 56 in Gray, Inlet 49, Westford 50, and Worcester checking in with 55. The radar and satellite image shows our next area of low pressure comes in from the west. This will initially go to our north and west, so it brings rain with a southwest wind. So why is this going to change over? It happens when this low transfers its energy to the coast and it becomes a nor'easter, and that's when the wind direction changes and it wraps in some cold weather from the north. That takes place Wednesday night. But like most storms that you deal with on the fringes of the season, it's more likely to impact the higher elevations compared to the lower spots. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down into the low 30s. Dry first thing in the morning. Some rain is expected to arrive for the evening commute, but I'm not expecting any traveling issues here. This stays all rain tomorrow night. This stays rain most of Wednesday. It's not until Wednesday afternoon that cold air works in, and this turns over to snow by Wednesday evening, first in the higher terrain and then down to the valley floor throughout Wednesday night. And the early call here for snowfall is general 1 to 3 inches Wednesday night into early Thursday for the Mohawk Valley. 3 to 6 inches expected in the hilltop locations, 6 or more inches possible in the Adirondacks. Again, the timeline here is that the bulk of this accumulates Wednesday night. And by Thursday, while we're expecting rain and snow showers and maybe some minor snow accumulation, again, the bulk of this looks to fall Wednesday night. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 33. Tomorrow, rain develops, 47 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast, windy weather, and again, turning unsettled here throughout the rest of the week. Rain and snow showers Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But for those of you eagerly awaiting the eclipse, it looks like our weather is going to be sunny. A big area of high pressure rolls in, and right now, things are looking promising. We'll continue to keep you posted, but right now, looking at clear skies on Monday with temperatures in the mid-50s. We'll be right back.
With Kristen Copeland.
We saw the sun today, and temperatures made it into the 50s, almost 60 degrees, but don't get used to it. Changes are in store, big changes. Let's head to Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis off the top.
Yes, that's right, Kristen. We're expecting rain to develop tomorrow, and that rain is expected to turn over to snow as we head into Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. In fact, winter storm watches are now in effect for higher terrain surrounding the Mohawk Valley due to the potential of accumulation, some locally heavy accumulation Wednesday night into very early Thursday. Things are looking quiet out there this evening. The weather's looking great. Again, rain arrives tomorrow afternoon. It stays rain tomorrow night. It stays rain on Wednesday, at least during the daytime. This transition turns rain to snow as some colder air works in late Wednesday evening. It's an elevation-driven snowfall, which means the higher terrain is expected to see a lot more snow compared to the lower terrain, lower terrain being the Mohawk Valley. This evening, looking at partly cloudy skies, temperatures remain in the low 50s for many of us. The good news is that we have a pretty good sense of how the eclipse forecast is expected to take place, and it is very good news for our local area. Look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. Welcome back. We are tracking some big changes in the weather here over the next couple of days. It's back to some rain tomorrow and even some snow as we head into Wednesday night. This is the timeline. Clouds will be increasing throughout tonight and into tomorrow. We're dry in the morning. We're wet in the evening, but I'm not expecting any big traveling issues with the rain. Rain continues Tuesday night into Wednesday. Cold air starts to wrap in on Wednesday during the afternoon, and that will create a transition from rain to snow, first in the higher terrain down to the valley floor. And a lot of this takes place Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. That's when we're expecting some tricky travel and some snow accumulation. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Always quiet across the region. What a lovely day. Sunshine broke out in the afternoon. That helped bring temperatures into the upper 50s, still sitting at 57 degrees in downtown Utica. The winds will be back too, in addition to the rain and the snow and the cold. Just a generally unsettled weather pattern here for the majority of this week. So again, I hope you had a chance to enjoy today. Temperatures in the 50s, Clinton 57, Forestport 56, Fairfield, Sandy with 55 degrees, Jeff and Mohawk 55, Westford, Dave with 50 degrees. Low pressure approaches from the west. This will track to our west, bringing the initial batch of precipitation as rain. But as this storm redevelops along the coast, the wind direction changes and it starts to pull in some colder weather heading into Wednesday night. Again, that's going to cause that changeover from rain to snow. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. It's dry. It's partly cloudy. Overnight lows drop down into the low 30s. Dry tomorrow morning. Morning commute should be okay. The evening time, I'm expecting some late rain to develop. Temperatures climb into the 40s. Tomorrow night, widespread rain showers Wednesday morning. Thinking most of this falls as rain throughout Wednesday, although we could see some mixing in higher terrain. But I think most of this makes this transition heading towards sunset on Wednesday, and that's when we're going to see that turnover from rain to snow. Snow accumulation is expected Wednesday night. Some of it could be locally heavy, especially in the higher terrain. 6 inches or more possible Wednesday night in the Adirondacks. 3 to 6 inches expected. Again, terrain plays a huge role in accumulation in the Mohawk Valley. 1 to 3 inches. Again, this takes us through Wednesday night. There's the potential that we could see more accumulation on Thursday, but again, we'll cover that as we get a little bit closer. Partly cloudy skies tonight, down to 33. Tomorrow, looking at rain developing, a high of 47. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy, chilly weather throughout the week. Rain and snow showers continue Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But there is good news for those of you that are anticipating going to the solar eclipse and been waiting for hopefully some good news here. I do have good news. Right now, consistent, looking at clear skies. Can't make any promises, but so far for this being 7 days out, it's looking pretty good.
Upstate New York, the place to be.
Yeah.
Phil, thank you. Still ahead here on News Channel 2 at 6.
And the United
The news with Ben Kinney.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ben Kinney. Jason has the night off. Just when we thought winter was over, we were wrong. Some parts of the area are under a winter storm watch. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis for the latest. This is mainly going to be a higher elevation event, so people in the valley, as you can see behind you, not going to have to worry as much, but may still be some effects.
Yes, we're tracking this on Wednesday night. That's what we're expecting, the possibility of some slippery roads across the area. Let me show you what's going on with the watches and warnings map from the National Weather Service. This is mainly to highlight higher elevations. The Adirondacks, the North Country, Otsego County, elevations over 1,500 feet will likely get more snow than other locations, lower spots, the Mohawk Valley, not in the winter storm watch. But still, we're not going to miss snow entirely, even in the Mohawk Valley. It just looks like the impacts are going to be higher in the higher terrain. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It stays dry tonight. Rain arrives Tuesday afternoon. The rain's going to be around Tuesday night and into most of Wednesday, but that's when we see a changeover. In the evening, rain turns over to snow, first in the hilltops and then into the valley locations. And again, it's an elevation-driven snowfall. We've got to look at some of the early numbers here that we can expect with the snowfall forecast coming up. Tonight, partly cloudy down to 33. Again, tracking this potential winter storm. We're also looking ahead. We've got the eclipse next Monday. We've got some early thoughts and some early signs of what the weather could look like, and that's coming up. Ben, back to you.
Bill, thank you very much. A week after it was led.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a look at the timeline as our next weather maker approaches. An area of low pressure is going to bring a mix of rain and snow to our area. Now, Tuesday, that's when things start to develop. An area of low pressure moves in from the west. This brings rain across our area, no major travel issues. Rain continues Tuesday night into Wednesday. It's on Wednesday where things will start to change. As an area of low pressure moves in, it's expected to change the wind direction and pull in some cold air. That will cause a changeover from rain to snow on Wednesday night, and that's when things get tricky. It's Wednesday night that mix of rain and snow could cause some travel issues. That's when we're expecting some accumulating snow, especially in higher terrain. Live look at the Yorkville Battery. Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, always quiet across the region. Downtown Utica, current temperature 44 degrees. Partly cloudy skies are expected as we head into tonight. The winds are going to be picking up as the next weather maker approaches. We're in a stretch of windy weather throughout the week. Breezy conditions tomorrow. Winds it becomes windy, I should say, on Wednesday. Lighter winds Thursday. Windy conditions again on Friday. Thankfully, the winds don't look to be strong enough to cause any serious damage in our area. As we look at the radar and satellite image, to the west we go. That's where we find an area of low pressure located out near Chicago. This is causing a lot of severe weather tonight. Multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, and a high risk for severe weather in the Midwest. This weather system produces severe weather again towards the Ohio River Valley tomorrow. We're going to be on the northern fringe of this system, but it's the same one infecting our weather. But because it's cooler and there's less instability in the atmosphere, by the time this arrives, it just produces rain. And we're not talking about any severe weather locally. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight, partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down into the low 30s. Tomorrow we start out dry. Rain is expected to develop in the afternoon, the late afternoon to early evening. Temperatures climb into the mid-40s. Rain tomorrow night will continue into Wednesday morning. This is where things get tricky. A lot of our computer models are suggesting that there's going to be some mixing taking place during the day on Wednesday. We think most of that is going to be Wednesday night. Surface temperatures will be above freezing, so I don't expect any big traveling issues on Wednesday, but we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Rain turns over to snow Wednesday night as cold air works in from the north. Snow accumulates heading into Wednesday night. This is the snowfall forecast for what happens Wednesday night. It doesn't include anything on Thursday. We could get some more accumulation then, but that's quite a ways out. So right now we're calling for 1 to 3 inches of snow in the Mohawk Valley Wednesday night. Higher elevations north and south, 3 to 6 inches of snowfall. 6 inches or more of snowfall expected in the Adirondacks. We will pin down the higher end of this as we get some more information tonight and tomorrow. But again, the idea here is that this could be a long duration event. This could last into Thursday as well as Thursday night. It looks a little bit less on Thursday, but again, it's something we're going to be keeping an eye on. Mostly or partly cloudy tonight, low of 33. Tomorrow, rain develops, 47 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Clouds, showers continue Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Rain and snow even into Saturday. But can you believe this? Skies are expected to clear out, and there's a fairly decent chance that Monday's solar eclipse could be clear. We could have a pretty good vantage by what we're seeing now, and it's been a pretty consistent signal that we've been watching here for about the last 4 to 5 days.
Good. So hopefully it stays that way.
Yes.
A lot of pieces that have to fall into place, but it looks like it's going to.
So far, so good.
All right, good to hear. Coming up next, why home buyers are...
The news with Ben Kinney.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Just when we thought winter was over, we were wrong. Some parts of the area under a winter storm watch tonight. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis for the latest. This is mainly going to be a high elevation event, but we are watching the potential for maybe some of it to creep down.
Yes, and it's a really close call tonight, Ben. We're looking at winter storm watches in effect. We are fairly certain that the higher elevations will take the brunt of this, but let me show you what's going on here. National Weather Service issuing these watches for northern Oneida, Herkimer, Hamilton counties. Again, the Mohawk Valley out of this, but that doesn't mean we're going to miss the impact here. This looks to be mostly rain, but there could be some snow mixing in too, just not as much as these higher elevations. Otsego County also part of this watch too. Things are looking dry out there. We're seeing some noise on the radar this evening. Things are looking pretty quiet. The rain doesn't arrive until tomorrow afternoon. Rain will be around tomorrow night as well as Wednesday. The changeover doesn't take place until Wednesday during the evening time for most of us. And that could cause some slippery roads, especially in high elevations where there will be some accumulating snow heading into Wednesday night. We've got to look at the snowfall forecast coming up. This evening, or tonight rather, partly cloudy skies, a low of 33. We are looking ahead. We have some thoughts on the solar eclipse and what sky coverage could look like locally, and that's coming up. Ben, back to you.
Bill, thank you very much. A week after it was levied.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. We are taking a look at the timeline as we head into the next 20 or 48 hours. We're tracking rain tomorrow. That rain develops in the late afternoon. It's not expected to cause any issues driving. Roads should be fine for the most part. Wednesday, it's rain, but that rain turns over to snow late in the day, first along the higher elevations and then into the valley floor Wednesday night. Could be some travel issues on hilltop locations late Wednesday. And again, Wednesday night into Thursday, that's when a transition takes place from rain to snow. Travel could be tricky, especially in the higher elevations. Live look outside, things look pretty quiet. A live look in Utica, temperature of 45 degrees, relatively quiet conditions. It was a warm day today, temperatures climbed into the upper 50s. The winds are going to become stronger over the next couple of days as low pressure arrives. It's breezy tomorrow. The winds pick up on Wednesday. That looks to be a windy day as well as Friday. Not really much of a break on Thursday either. And again, this has a lot to do with the position and strength of low pressure as it moves through our area. Bigger picture, tonight, clouds increase. The next weather maker approaches from the west. This initial area of low pressure draws a south wind, and this is primarily rain. But as this low pressure approaches, a secondary area of low pressure develops along the Atlantic coast as a nor'easter. This one is going to draw cold air from the north as the wind direction changes. That will help create conditions that cause a changeover from rain to snow as we head into Wednesday night. Temperatures are going to be really close to freezing during this transition, and that's why there's going to be a dramatic impact in snowfall totals from higher elevations to lower elevations. Tonight, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies. Overnight lows drop down into the low 30s. It's dry tomorrow morning. If you have any plans, the weather should be pretty quiet early in the day. High temperatures climb into the upper 40s. Rain develops later in the afternoon. Rain continues through tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Rain will be around into Wednesday. This is when we start to see a transition from rain to snow. At some point, we think it's going to be late Wednesday evening as cold air works in from the north. Rain turns over to snow, and that's when roads can become pretty tricky traveling-wise Wednesday night into early Thursday. This is the snowfall forecast for what happens through Wednesday night. This map stops Thursday morning. We didn't go beyond that just because it's too far into the future. But this is the general idea with the first part of this storm. We're thinking a general 1 to 3 inches of accumulation in the Mohawk Valley, 3 to 6 inches along the hilltop locations. This spot in the Adirondacks could see more than 6 inches. We didn't put numbers on the higher limit there. We're going to continue to look at the data and give you an answer tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies tonight, low of 33. Tomorrow, rain develops, 47 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather remains unsettled through Saturday. Multiple days of cloud cover, and then, just like that, skies clear out. A big area of high pressure comes in. We like that in meteorology. Large high pressure systems tend to be more predictable, and with a little bit of luck, that might bode well for the eclipse.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.